What's up, guys? SirAllAboutMusic here. It is cold as balls outside in Colombia. It is just ridiculously cold. Before I get to the review of the Machina, Number one, again, if you guys have sent me a request and it's not on my list right now, message me the request. And I will not be accepting requests unless they are messaged to me from now on, because it's easier for me to keep it organized. I'm a pretty disorganized person as it is, so help me out with that. If you've already sent me a message with the request, don't worry about it. Got it. And I'm one away, man. One away. I want that one sub by the end of tonight. If I can get that one sub by the end of the night, it's going to be awesome. We are going to have a fucking party. One away from 100 subs. What? Anyway, let's talk about Machina, the Machines of God, the 5th studio album by the Smashing Pumpkins. The Machinas, both of them, are kind of like the abandoned children of the Smashing Pumpkins discography. Yeah, sure, Adore is kind of that little album in the corner, but the Machinas are the ones that you just kind of ignore. I don't know anything about those. Yeah, I got no clue what you're talking about. You know, that kind of thing. They're subpar. They really are. In general. Now, Machina 2, I think, is a little better, but that's for that album's review. Let's talk about Machina. There are songs on this album that I love. The kind of proto-cyber metal, as Billy puts it, that's going on here, I dig a lot. Songs like The Everlasting Gaze, and Eye of the Morning, and The Voice Implodes, Heavy Metal Machine, those kind of songs. You know, I am with those. I really, really like the sound on some of those. And a couple of the softer songs, Stand Inside Your Love being one of them. That's, you know, Stand Inside Your Love is kind of like more old school Smashing Pumpkins kind of sound going on there. But in general, there's this really poppy, almost 80s bad pop synth thing going on here that sucks. It's terrible. Like some of the songs, Raindrops with Sun Showers. What the fuck is that? Yeah, you know, Raindrops and Sun Showers is actually a great example of that. It's just this kind of 80s synth pop going on. I don't like it. The other thing I don't like about this album is Billy's vocals are so much whinier. He just sounds so whiny on this album. I mean, he has a very distinct voice, and it's got a little bit of a whine to it. You know, it does. But it's like fucking annoying on the Machinas. It gets to the point where you're just like, oh my god, stop. It literally sounds like he's complaining. And you can tell he's just so full of himself by this point. His ego has just reached disproportional sizes. And I'm not dead. Come on, dude, give me a break. Just sing the damn song. So that's another thing that bugs the hell out of me about these albums. The thing that I do like about Machina, though, is that Jimmy Chamberlain is back, and saving grace. Jimmy's a great drummer. He really is, and he is underrated by far. And he does some great drum work on these songs. So the rating, originality, is, you know, they're not really original, and where they are original is all in this kind of proto-cyber metal kind of shit that's going on, and that's cool. But the Pumpkins weren't really the only band doing that kind of thing around the turn of the century. So yeah, I don't know. Originality is okay, and then you got, you know, and then of course you got this like bad 80s synth pop going on that just is like, what the fuck is up with that? So yeah. How much I like these? It's tough. It's really tough because the songs that I like, I love. You know, I absolutely love. I listen to them constantly. But then the songs that I don't like, I never listen to. I hate them. So I don't know. It really doesn't. It probably balances out. You know, the good songs balance out the bad songs. I'm kind of indifferent on the album in that respect. But on the album, since we're talking about the album as a package, no. Just no. Production, horribly overproduced again, and there's a lot of lushness to the sound here. Even on the metal songs, you know, the Everlasting Gaze during the chorus, there's keyboards, there's big lush keyboards going on there, and that's cool. That's a cool addition to what's the sound of those songs. So yeah, in general, really big lush sounding album. It's moody, but not in a dark way, and terribly overproduced. Flow sucks. It sucks. There really is no rhythm to these songs. They just kind of seem disjointed and, you know, like kind of everywhere, shooting off in random tangents and shit like that. So yeah, the flow really sucks. Yeah, I mean, overall, I could give this album a 5. You know, the Machinas, both of them get a lot of flack from hardcore, old school Smashing Pumpkins fans, but they're not as terrible as those people think they are. Like I said, there are some good songs on these albums, and especially on Machina 2. Machina 2's is way better, but again, that's for that album review. There are some good songs on this album. It's just that the bad songs are just so shitty. They're just terrible. And that's kind of what drags this album down. So yeah, a 5. Machina, The Machines of God, Smashing Pumpkins, all that jazz. This was their last official studio release. Then RC left, and then James followed, and then Jin. Then the band just went, you know, fuck all. And then they did their reunion. But again, for another review. So, SirAllAboutMusic, leave a comment down there, and one more sub, man. Come on. Whoever you are, I will love you forever. SirAllAboutMusic, I'll see you guys next time.